Think you need a ton of tools to create beautiful artwork in Procreate? What if I told you all you need is one? Let me show you how right now. Hey everyone, welcome back to Haley K Studio. I'm Haley, and in today's video, I'm going to walk you through creating an incredible sunset canyon scene using just the Lasso tool in Procreate. No brushes, no complicated techniques, just one of the most versatile tools in digital art. By the end of this tutorial, you'll see how easy it can be, even if you're new to digital art. But before we get started, I'm excited to announce that I have launched my own Patreon. I'll be sharing all my free downloads like color palettes and free brush sets here that will not require a paid membership. But if you're enjoying these tutorials and you want to support the channel, or if you're looking for exclusive content like behind the scenes, early access, and even more goodies that I can share with you, your support not only helps me continue creating, but it also unlocks a ton of bonus content for you. And your support means the world to me. All right, let's dive in and create this beautiful sunset canyon scene with just the Lasso tool. To get started, I'm using a canvas that is 2048 pixels by 2048 pixels, and it is completely blank. Like I said, we are just using the Lasso tool to create this image, so we're not going to make a sketch. We're just going to be using the Lasso tool to create shapes that will automatically fill themselves with color. I will be using a color palette that I created. It's called Canyon Sunset, and I will link that down below so that you can use that to create this project yourself. To start off, I will be choosing a background color, and I am going to choose this yellow here. It's the second color in the color palette, and there's the base for our image here. To start, I want to create kind of a graphic gradient, and I'm choosing to keep this very abstract. Keeping it abstract kind of lends to the simplicity of this, not getting too precise or trying to make things hyper realistic. I like the idea of keeping this kind of abstract. So to start, we will choose our Lasso tool. I am first going to set it to rectangle, and of course we need it at color fill. And I'm going to choose my first color to create a sunset in the background, and I am choosing this first kind of orange color. And we'll go back to our canvas with our rectangle Lasso tool chosen, and we're just going to place a rectangle here in our first layer. I will add a new layer and choose the next color. So I'm just going to kind of create my own gradient and go down the canvas with just rectangles of color. Add a new layer, go to the next orange and place another rectangle. Because I'm doing this kind of freeform, these probably aren't even the same size as each other, but that's okay. It's abstract. It doesn't need to be precise. And now we've created a sort of gradient to our sky, and you can even flatten these and use Gaussian blur to make a gradient of color, but I am just going to keep it abstract and just maintain the contrasting colors. Now I'm going to add a new layer, and I'm basically just starting from the back to the front. So every time I add a new layer, it's just going to go to the very top of my layer stack here. So for this layer, I'm going to be adding a sun. It's not going to be a super bright sun. It's going to be like a sunset sun or like a smoky haze kind of sun. So now I'm going to choose the ellipse tool with the color fill, and I am going to place a sun right here and make it as circular as I can. And I can just place that right in the center and lift it up a little bit. And now we have our sun. Now I'm going to move on to creating kind of the canyon scene. I will add a new layer to the very top and choose my first color for the canyons, and I want to choose this lightest peach color. And I'm not going to go from my brush here, I'm going to go from my Lasso tool, and I'm going to choose the freehand Lasso tool. I'm going to scooch this up a little bit so that I can make my entire shape. Once you create a shape with your Lasso tool and you complete that shape, it will automatically fill it with color even when it's freehand. But you have to make a start and a finish to it. So I'll show you how that's done. I will choose a spot on my canvas to begin creating a sort of canyon, and you're just trying to make like a canyon shape. And then it's going to be connected to another canyon on the other side and there. And so now we've kind of got the top of our canyon, and you can lift up your Apple Pencil in the middle of creating a shape. And now I'm just going to connect it all the way down and go back and around, and then tap the little dot there. And we've got a filled shape. And there's our first canyon shape. And this is completely freeform. So I'm just going to go through and create my little canyon shapes, adding a new layer to the very top and layer them forward. And for my very last one, it's just going to be like a very sort of shelf right here. So it's going to be very small, and it's more like a shelf that is closest to us. For this next step, I am going to be creating a clipping mask between each of these canyon layers so that I can create a sort of highlight to it. I will add a layer above that first one in the very back and choose my lightest color here, and then go to my freehand lasso tool again. So we want to maintain that freehand lasso tool, and then turn on a clipping mask, go back to my lasso tool, and just start making kind of highlights to the canyon and just making little shapes. They don't have to be fully connected to each other, but kind of keep them along the same line because the sun would be hitting them in the same spot. And you can even create sort of dips in to kind of create some depth to the canyon there. So our first canyon has been given some highlights, so now I'll just continue on with the rest of the layers of canyon. Adding a layer, turning on a clipping mask. I'm going to still use this lightest color cream and my lasso tool. So now all of our canyons have kind of been given a highlight, and it's very free form and it's very shaky, which it kind of lends to that rocky texture that a canyon would have, which I'm happy with how this is shaping up so far. Now I can show you how you can even make full-on shapes of objects. So I am going to add a new layer at the very top. I want to add some plants and like a cactus up here. So I've added a new layer. And I'm going to choose my darkest color here. Hopefully I can see where I'm going, but we'll put a cactus here. And so you just kind of trace the shape that you're wanting to achieve. There we've got a cactus, and add another new layer. Get your lasso tool, try and scooch this over and create kind of like an aloe vera plant or some sort of like other desert succulent. There we go. And I want to be able to see those a little more. So I'm going to add a highlight to these. I'll add a layer above my cactus, turn on the clipping mask, and grab my cream color and my lasso tool and just try and get the highlights of the cactus. And there we can see our cactus a little more. For the aloe vera plant, I want to add a layer below it, try and retrace it with that white. I don't want to lose the width of my plant here, so I just want to add it on the outside of it. And that will about do it. Here is a stunning sunset canyon scene created entirely with the lasso tool. I hope this tutorial inspired you to use these really simple tools to create beautiful artwork. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on future content like this. And also don't forget to check out my Patreon. Your support means the world to me, and I want to keep bringing you high quality content, and your support is going to help me to achieve that. So thank you for watching, and I will see you here next time. Bye!